these are as number 21, main lean engines. A disease one. In Ben attentions and things, who lived as a part on Edwardsley, each has 4 wheelers, a tinder and a small sculpture. They keep busy pawning trucks, the ships in the harbour, and engines on the main lead. The trucks are filled with china clay, dug from the Narby hills. China clay is important. It is needed for pottery, paper, paint, plastics, and many other things. One morning, they eat some trucks and went away for more. They returned to find them all gone. They were surprised. Them gone for some strange reason. A jeepers examined a patch of oil on the track. It's a diesel, they said, beeping the rails clean. It's a waffle? Asked Bill. A diseaseful, you think, replied Ben. There's a notice about them in our shed. You remember, coughs and sneezes spread diseases. Only that cough in the smoke box yesterday. Seaman cleaned it, didn't he? Yes, but the dust made him sneeze. So, it's your fault the disease came. It isn't, it is. Stop arguing, or laugh at Jeepers. Come on, let's go and trucks. Bill and Ben are aghast. But he'll need to cut some way. Need the trucks. The Jeepers laughed. He heard Mr. Cost, who more leaks than Mr. King. Listen, you've got an itch, want or some cheap thing on the diesel. Ask what we'll do. The diesel doesn't hurt your twins, so we'll take your names and numbers off, and this is what we'll do. Even Ben chuckled and delayed. Come on, let's go, he said eagerly. Sheeping over Hitler into Bedford's yard, we found the diesel on the siding of the trucks. Ben had behaved, but Bill went Hitler alongside and stood facing the diesel on the points leading out for the main lead. The diesel looked up. Do you mean? He asked. Yes, said Bill. It's all. It won't make trucks clear. He's a mean, said the diesel. Go away. Bill pretended to be frightened. Not a big bother, he whimpered. You're the hopper. He moved with the points and hid behind the trucks on the other side. Benner came forward. The diesel had to stop suddenly. Truck stealer, he said, he little bitch, and Bill took his place. This went on and on till the diesel's noddler ears noddler. popped out. Stop, he begged. sake, I'm making that getter. And so Benson gazed at him, sleeplessly. He shut his ears. Are there twins, or? He whispered. Yes, we're twins. Immediately learned it, he cried. Just then it had bustled in. Bill and Ben, we also play hard. We're not playing. It's just a Bill. A rescue tugs, screamed Ben. What do you mean? Even your turn come into the yard without asking. And nor only take the tugs you give for. But a person screamed indignantly. Mr. Cecil didn't even ask. He just took the lot. And levies were cast about broad. Said it's a bad luck. This engine is a Metropolitan Victor's diesel electric tape tool. The twins were best. Grasshopper, Mr. Lettermead, he said, called me Perker. Grasshopper, he didn't understand about the trucks. Let's all eat then, said David. I'll throw Kirk, Bill and Ben, fetch Perker's trucks, and I can take these. The twins turned away. David smiled. There's been harm in them, he said, but they're maddening the teams. Perker chuckled. Maddening, he said, is the word. Buzz. Perker reached a big station and reached his trucks. He went on the shed and asked Peter if he could come in. Doc was not pleased, said a diesel. A presently when they found that, that Perker no it, he became more friendly. And with the same Perker had served him about Bill and Ben, they were laughing together, they were friends. Have they ever played snakes on raw? Asked Perker. Countless men, yes, chuckled Doc. If it is certainly one, I can keep them in order. Your bird and on Doc is sometimes call them a bees. A good name, chuckled Perker. The tuggers and they start buzzing round. Just then, James bustled in. What's it, Doc? We're all terrified of this. The little insects after all. The little buzzbox diesel tailor. His name is Perker, and he didn't. He won't care, interrupted James. If hundreds are swarming round, it just Perker can make them buzz off. Buzz, retorted Doc. James attained for the hut. James was to pull the express next morning, and then Doc brought his purchase on the platform that was crowded. Main job backs, small parties are taking, and hurt each other. On the front bed, fetch her, or bed walked ahead. Careful, Fred, careful. On bed, but Fred was in a harbor and didn't listen. Suddenly, and later, appeared in front. Fred stopped dead. But the luggage he forward and burst the lid of a large red wooden box. Some this followed, and just as James came backing down, they began to explore the station. Someone shouted a warning. The platform cannot need magic. A piece of tall sheep had to be crossed. They turned into the station, heard James's Freeman was chained to couple. The chain. They buzzed round him over. They wanted him to mend that cave, and they caught her bed and were one again. But the Freeman didn't understand. He thought they would sting him. He gave a yell, and then back on the cabin, crouched with his jacket over his head. But David didn't understand either. He swatted at the bears with the shovel. The bears, disappointed, turned their attention to James. James's body was nice and warm, and they swam around his hips now. Pass off! Pass off! He hissed. He made sure, but the wind drove it away, and the peas stayed. At last one settled on his hot smoke box. It burnt its feet. The bear thought James had stung it on purpose. It stung James back right on the nerve. Dunk! Whistled James. He'd had enough, and spurred with his jacket and Freeman. They started without waiting on the gas whistle. They didn't just hit it on yet, but they left that chain behind. In the end, it was Kirkford on Paul's face. He was ever obsessed about Edie's tracks. The duck promised to look after him, and so it was arranged. He managed to gain back some of the lost tea, and the victim's spirit was pleased with him. Everyone seemed hopeless. When James came back to the shed, they were talking about a not kind of their faith. On wheels, it was red. They said, and they all said, buzz, buzz, buzz. They laughed a lot, but James thought that for the big main lean engines, they were being scared. Wrong bird. Thomas's branch lead is important, and circus experts may first think about traffic, but that's it. Certain pitches are not strong as spurs on the main. Pitches speed, the fit controller does not allow the rivets. They need engines, such as Gordon and Henry, to rush on them. If, however, Robert heard Gordon talking to Edward, this thought really occurred. One had thought that the fit controller was forbidding him to run on the branch leads for quite another reason. It's not fair, rumbled Gordon. What isn't fair? Asked Edward. Letting branch lean diesels or main lean trains. Never made. Gordon, it's a perker. Well, let's not pull this truck some tapes. It would make it great for Gordon spluttered from his neck. It would pull perkers ditch the trucks. It would run on branch leads. Wait not, it would be this chain. it considered would never prove, said Gordon loftily. Branch needs a further. He puffed me in a dignified manner. Edward chuckled and followed into the station. Gordon is driven, his feeling also, it was the latest thought. She wore a clean flap her head. She was brave. She was saying goodbye of a friend in the train coach. Now was a godsend. It was almost time to start. The feeling not back. He was not on the job. He considered the guard, and she did have something keen waving. He thought it was a thread, which we made, he thought, but the guard had not waved his thread. When Gordon started, he left some luggage, several indignant passengers, and the guard all standing on the platform. As that evening saw fast trains leave a big station within 5 minutes. The 6:25 is Gordon's on the main lane. Edward at 6:30 runs along the branch. With the time Gordon had been brought back, Edward's train was overturned. You've missed your path, Gordon, said the Fitkin to the crosser. No, you must cloud Edward's chain before you can start. This would have put everything right with the least possible trouble. But control the big station made things worse. They forgot to warn the signalman at Edward's Junction about the change of plan. It was dark by the time the train reached the junction, and you can guess what happened. Edward went forth on the main, while Gordon was switched on the branch. It took several hours It took the Fitkin several hours to sort out the tangle and pacify the passengers. In the end, Gordon was left with his fate from and cross on one of Edward's sightings. Bill and Ben peeked into Edward's the yard. Next morning, they wondered if Berkshire had bought them some trucks. Urban trucks, but they didn't mean teasing Gordon, they thought, would be much better fun. What's that? Asked Bill like that. It's whispered Ben, it's Gordon. It looks like Gordon, but it can't be. Gordon never comes on branch leads. If he should hurt her. Gordon pretended he hadn't heard. If it isn't Gordon, said Ben, it's just a pail of earth air, and she'd better take from the scrapyard. Bill, this monstrosness the scrape. We'll take it to the harbour and dump it in the surf. Gordon's alarmed. Gordon, stop! The twins paid no attention. Gordon shut his ears and prepared for the worst. The twins argued loudly and long in favour of the scrapyard. Old Ben said that the cutting up in such places was something cruel. It would be kinder, he urged, to give these remains a quick end in the surf. The siege went on and make a loveless splash. and the smeller, the nicer. But when he opened his ears and saw Berker coming into the yard, he thought him the most wonderful sight he'd ever seen. Berker, it's Benson, he gasped. Excuse me. Berker kicked his head up the situation and sent Bill and Ben about the business. They would cheek her at first, but Berker threatened to take away the trucks of cur he'd given brought for him. It made them behave at once. Gordon thought he was wonderful. There's natural achievements, he said. And it's all talking. Oh, well, said Berker, who was just a nerd. Gordon thinks to this day that Berker saved his life by being hurt, that the twins heard that teasing Berker. Edward's exploit. Edward scared the twins abandoned, but Gordon had served him right. Gordon was obvious. A few days later, some enthusiasts came on the last afternoon. They went to the shaded clay works. Edward found it hard to start the train. Did you see him straining? Asked Henry. Positively painful, remarked James. Just pathetic, grunted Gordon. He shall give up and be preserved before it's too late. Shut up, bastard duck. Growled Tennis. Edward's better than anything. Oh, wait, duck, said Berker. Edward's that it's a place us all. Bill and Ben were delighted with their visitors. They loved being photographed and took the part for the workings in the pig film special. On the way through the river, the weather changed. Wind and rain buffeted Edward. His sending cloth failed. His wheels slipped, and his foreman earned fun jumping sand on the rails. Come on, come on, come on. This is dreadful. But there was worse to come. Before his driver could check them, his wheels slid faster again and again. The sinking crack. Something broke and battered his frame and splashes up and out of sight. The passengers gathered round. Bailey's Craw inspected the davits. The past talks on tape. One of our kingpins, Edward, said his stupid lost. He's taken off the seat, those head rods. Now, you're the single Nathan efficient engine. Cannot get these people hurt. They must stop betting it. No, yes, Thomas, Edward. They picked down the names on the level. Edward puffed and pulled his hardest, but his fingers kept slipping, and he just could not pull the heavy chain. The passengers were getting anxious. Chief of Foreman and God went along the train, making adjustments on the couplings between the coaches. He's loosened the couplings, Edward, he said. Now you can pick your coaches up one by one. Then you're as hot with trucks. It would be much better, Lisa, said Edward Tracer. demonstrating traveler in front. The Trigger Chancellor opened the regulator. Come on, after it. He moved cautiously forward. It let it take the strain. The tender coupling tightened against it of the first church. The first church moving helped to stop the second. The second helped the third and spurred on down the train. You've done it! You've done it! Laughed Edward, his face was spinning with excitement. Stood the boy on his nervous kids that shaking. The wheels slipped. Well done, boy. You've got them. You've got them. The mission trips that Edward's still kept speed. Still faster at the hill. The passengers have failed. As the heads and wings they waved and shouted, charging Edward on. The head controller paced the platform, and the special train waited anxiously tall. They had a unbeaten, but unbeaten Edward steamed in. The third controller stepped angrily forward. He pointed on the clock, but the excited passengers went to the shade. Each saw Edward, his taper, and Fabian's father after before rushing off to kitchen Henry's train. Henry steamed away toward another storm of stars, but not before Edward won no Edward's daughter. Edward went faceless on the shed, while Duncan Perkins saw told that he was left in peace. Gordon and James, the main inspector, sailed. The third controller asked Perkins took after Edward's lane when he was being mended. Perkins was pleased. He worked well, and now they run it together. Bill and Ben still tease him, but Perkins doesn't mind. He lives in Edward Station, but is welcome anywhere. There is now one of the family. Donald and Douglas are the last two accepting, but he often lives without God's change, and the other day they were heard talking Mark of a diesel young Berkshire, not such a bad sort of engine. It's from the kettle for lean trains is a praise indeed. And that's the end of the speech novel. The railway sagas, number 22. Small railway engines. Breakfast. The second surface railway is a known log. From end to end, a cleaning the pillars from the tread and picking the sleepers. stopped grumbling about its Satans. Douglas and Donald disappeared behind the big station along a lane which none of the others had ever gone. They would turn without the British change, and the British starters about it. The small engines being the British down from the hills was all they would see. Some engines would talk of nothing else. James and Henry thought that the small engines must be some kind of magic. They can't believe it, said Gordon. Donald and Douglas have told a realist before, but Doug wanted to see it for himself, so he asked permission to take some trucks. When he arrived, he was told to push them under the shot. This was like a tunnel made of steel cages and girders. On top of it stood some clear-looking trucks. "What do you think of our shot?" said the boys. "Good, isn't it?" Doug blinked. Standing beside him was a small clean engine. "Where did yours ping from?" asked Doug. "They've been here all the time," smiled the small engine. "MS. And now it's a duck. Aren't it something? It's easier. There's only one great western engine in these parts." There was a sudden rattling and roaring. Duck's whole chain shuddered. "What was that?" He all startled. "It's open short. The bottoms of those wagons slid out, and the stirrups fall for the shot. In short trucks, he made the small but quite efficient." Doug puffed me, much impressed. Next time there was about engines. Nixon had forced Doug to bet and make. And in the Zorkenshire, he went on, the Zorkenshires given us different codes. "Silly nonsense," grumbled Meek. "In living law, protested Bert. "It's all right for law," stormed Meek, "but not for me. Passengers will say you look like a chatterbox." "Shocking," said Bert, and looked at Doug. "Consider my feelings. When they were perfectly, passengers kept calling me Meek." No, sputtered Meek. "Stop it, so tall," said Bert. Ducky went on. "Have you seen our coaches?" "Are they?" asked Doug. "Perfect that," said Bert. "But I mean, they're not like harbours," he finished lamely. "It smelled extra. They aren't like trucks. But they behave surprisingly well," says your touching me promptly. "They're all right," said Bert. "I thought she'd been made. Besides, passengers like them. I heard those carpets on a fine day. It's seen the scenery. Yonder, chairs, mountains, and such. Can't understand it myself, but then passengers, a car, you're right there," said Nick. "Give Give me God's change every time. John need tugs. Dog recipes, not all of them. Spirit mix, but her big builders top is a different. They run on bird cars, a seat as electric. We take them to the mains, fill them up, and run them down out on the shore. The men pull some levers, and the lots unhurt before I can see small concern trouble at all. I bait hot eggs or boxes, pots and eggs. He's shown nonsense. You mean the thing considered, the small considered did, same thing in meat. That chuckled it. It's make love tease each other. It can't understand it, said Duck. He's never heard a bird song before. The small engines all answered at once. We've heard that just come from a railway in England. It's closed. Your controller asked us to come and fetch business for him, and he said he'd bring us plenty of passengers too. Irvinshaw had passengers before, asked Duck. Earlier in England, it's her first season are all Father Duck, Lord Pingo lost, okay. The plastic shit that away, said Bertie. The engines had been cleaned and polished on the day. Bert always curving and fast with a small cinder in his funnel to draw up his hair. We've got visitors today, said his keeper. It's yawned. He has them every day, grunted Mead. That needs a special, said the keeper. One takes walking pictures, and the other eats box. So means all behave. He should want to have a modern picture in a box, but he wants to stay safe home. They all take to explain. The bird was in muddled, and they went to take his train. The visitors are clergymen, one fed and the other thin. They lived in a little car, perfect cameras. They shook hands with Bert's keeper, a small controller. Each heard them, says Oaken, lit with Bert's tender with on leg. Think for, he said, maybe come later, please. Just now, the sun was shining so nicely that he wanted to take photographs. And they asked Bert his name and told him how smart he looked. These visitors, he thought, talk at Easter, how to speak to engines. He puffed away feeling happier. Over the lane came another bird, level crossings, bridges and stations. The tall clergymen were squinting into the crevice. Bert found this rather upsetting. They made Wavington engine, he complained. They can't wave and get good pictures, said his Jeva. The bird didn't understand. He thought they were being unfriendly. And it spoke also past them once more. But Bert made her a plea. At the lead next. The lead is a shade bird. It runs over a short distance alongside the right of way. That is her fence. It had rained hard in the lead. There were potholes in the lane, and the thin Kurtzman sat in a car, a third one waited with his camera. He took his pictures, jumped in, and off they went, racing the train to the lane's end. A knock just as they passed it, they went for a puddle. Not a water splash, but spoiler. Ouch! But the clergyman didn't hurt. They were ahead an edge of the car, speeding. They waited for Bert to catch up. Bert wasn't speeding, but he did it on purpose. He snorted across them. This blessed man! This blessed man! Bert is hurrying to the last station. Pictures indeed crumbled, running on his train. Him and this picture covered in mud. He sniffled across them. When the third clergyman sat in his tent upon the chilly bed, Jeva oughtn't to fall along him after what he's done. Suddenly, he stopped sizzling and let off steam. What? In her? He thought. Hard to pay the fat one out. It's enough to play. Let with the thin ones, that's all, he said. And he said to himself, but when this left, till he needs to watch. The lane creeps steeply, but not the losses ahead of this time. He looked at the door. Come on, said his Jeva, giving him full steam. This was just what Bert wanted. Take the turd, he shouted, storming up the skirt. Rain-spurt branches made cliffs with the bed. Bert's blast, shouting straight up, shocked them by the cliff. Sparkles of water fell on the clergyman and Jeva. The circling did not stop till they topped the race and steam copper in source of the downward run. The small conspirator soon found out what had happened. He sent back bits on the ship. Not the engine, he said. Sternly, it would have brought us some visitors. This Bert, ordered Bert, even that its next cause he was ashamed for. Bert would strictly obey, but he was hypocrite and Nixon made clear. Those visitors indeed, he said them. They came in such horror, and is such horror tall, and they clean men like Jeva does. They were not about engines, he went on, the thin ones reaching a burnt man in a bog. He promised he'd rid a bird saw. So, think of that. This makes us all. One morning, when he bathed, Doc's whistle was out of order. They were late the night before, and his Jeff and Fabian had toasted to boil eggs for supper. Of course. But something went wrong. The next morning, when he wanted to whistle, Doc found he could heard burping noises. He was upset about it. Never mind, said his Jeeper. It must have a bit of the day, it's true. Or clean it with presents and he's got to. Meanwhile, her one made. But made, all remarks about it. Splat, made. It's shocking if engines can't whistle properly. He suddenly said, then wait till no. Asked Bert, wait for what? Said whistle, of course. Shut up, don't jealous. Mick is pretty much in whistle. Means better than yours anyway. Listen, Mick, said Max, if he'd whistle Nick yours, saw her. What it? So, he paused impressively. He nodded. The it spluttered Nick. Whistles are important. Admit, engines and whistles are proper engines at all. Mick went better than ever with father. The steam pressure went up suddenly when the safety valves broke off. What? And said his Jeeper, it's all right at first. We'd better take the passenger. What? And leave me gods? Yes, Bert controlled it. You can't just stop turping off. Come on. Make the turn on the church's washing in the left. When all was better, he started with a wrong jerk. Come on, he puffed. What's bitten him? Wondered his Jeeper. He doesn't need curses, but he's never been as bad as this. Nick whistled loudly. The knee sticks crossed. Not jealous, he muttered. As the bucket hit along, I'll serve them. He's in a flaming temper about something, remarked his Jeeper. He was relieved when he reached the end station safely. He looked me all over, but saw nothing was wrong. He tried to solve him, but Meg still sizzled crossly. It pinched me, he said at last, and soon after it started back. The elephant persistent with tinkle. But something was on his boiler, he thought, or taking it at the next station. But he never got the charge. It was a cow's fault. She stood on its head, this cropping grass. She took her notice of the tree. Mick stopped. He wasn't frightened. He'd met her before. Certainly made him so cross. He came straight tried to make me not stop it anymore. But he didn't get far. His second turned into a tremendous force, and his whistle kept up like a rocket and landed in a field. Even God started off of it, but some passengers objected. We can't waste time with whistles, they said. We must catch our train. Mick was dismayed. A bossy whistle, he protested. We mustn't pass us without whistling. It's hardest. Please feed it. Sharper, said the passengers. We can't wait. Oh, this whistle for it's all. And sir, it was arranged. Whenever they saw the board, God save her, and passengers all whistled. He made more noise than Mick ever did, and thought it splendid fun. Mick won of his lost whistle. He hurt his cheaper and gave him no whistle when they got her. He was disappointed. Is this the whistle? Said the small conspirator stood there. Sure, his feet. It serves all right for being such a cross spirit. Eight birds and clovers for the rest of the day. It was not the dark in their beach this year. Not spread, or spread. This week, baby. That makes taper urges. It's an improper engine. Improper looks all right to me. It's got her whistle. Said that her shocking. He turned from his shot taller. You saw regularly. Make a trouble with some sheep. He crumbled about them gently. That's it, said Mick, but they're useful. What? Farmers went on to sell the wall. What's that? People made clothes from more longer things they were instead of paint. Kate Mick's engines were startled. The smoking still stood. The doorway. The farmers, he went on, want us to take the wall to market. If he talk it well, and read the gospel, sir, we must all do our best. But he can't understand, sir, protested. He can't if she done the lane. We wouldn't hesitate. Said it, said Rex. He turned sheep. He take the wall in bales on trucks. It'll be easier. The thinking, the smoking, and the laugh. And Rex, he said, y'all seem to all about it, sir. Y'all should take the first train. He started hurting, and then lead. The next came gently down, and lead, stopping at all the farms and level crossings on the way. Now they're finished, said the stupid last. Burden left one man hurt, and way. But he reckoned without Willa. Willa was late. He'd been dawdling Rex's whistle. Round him, burst round him, and they set off at top speed. You're slipping, shouted someone. Spoke Willa. It can't stop now. It did, but not quite long enough. Peter dashed into the yard and sent round to bring his trailer alongside. The trailer tilted. The strain loosened the ropes, and the top was all bags. All bales slid sideways toward the truck. Crumbs, the stunt there. It's Todd. It must want Rex. He jumped down and ran along the lane. Rex is running easier. He said it was easier. He said it was easier. He chanted. Rex told himself. And everything happened at once. Peter raved and shouted, and behind Peter saw the pigs. Rex clenched the bales laying on the track. Stop, stop, stop! He whistled. On, That's the trumpet tugs. But Rex's brakes checked him. Oh, he curved and sucked his ears. His front hit something soft. He tilted sideways and found himself off the lane, leaning against the cutting seat. On his jafer felt him all over to find if he was hurt. When the smoking spirit came, Peter said he was with his father. With his master's permission, he stayed and worked over hard carving the mess. He put the trucks straight, and Bert lost no time in taking them away. But Rex had to stay over one. He didn't like it at all. Trains kept passing, and passengers would point at him and say, "Oh, look, there's been an accident." Meg and Bert would laugh and remark how easy it was to pull all chains. Rex. He lifted Rex on the rails at last, and Bert and Meg helped him. The accidents as the bit have been spent